Welcome to another weekly portfolio update here on The Last Investor. You're listening to Dan, and I'm going to give you a brief update on my portfolio. This time, when I mean brief, I mean really, really brief. And then I'll talk about why I am selling out of all of my stocks. Not quite all, but a significantly large amount of it. And I'm only going to be focusing on just a few stocks instead. But first, let's get straight to that portfolio update, shall we? So first on the list, I've got CRISPR Therapeutics, and CRISPR in the last 7 days is down roughly 7.23%, and on the whole, I'm still up about 63.62%. So not bad in a week where there's been a few downs apart from the really big tech stocks. Then I also have Rio Tinto, and Rio Tinto is down roughly about 4.63% in the last 7 days, and on the whole it's up 13.11%. And we have Centamin. Centamin in the last 7 days is down 3.1%, and overall I'm still up about 84%, not bad. And then I have Aviva. Aviva in the last 7 days is down 4.8%, and on the whole it's down 15.15%. And then I have 3i. 3i is also in the last 7 days is up 2.25%, and on the whole is down 16.26%. So my portfolio, most of the stocks seem to be relatively down on the whole in terms of the last 7 days, but some of them are still up. And then I have Trig, which in the last 7 days is also down 0.75%, but it's up 4.29% overall. And lastly, I have Carnival Corp, and over the last 7 days has continued that downward trend. Surely as night turns day, this just continues to drop like a lead balloon. And in the last 7 days, down 5.34%, and overall now down 59.56%, a massive £700 down. If I didn't have this in my portfolio, that would have been £700 that I wouldn't be down by, but there we are. We can all but wish. So, this brings us to the subject of why I am looking to drastically change my portfolio. And what I'm planning to do is literally to sell out of most of my stocks. And the reason why I'm doing this is it goes back to why I started investing in the first place. And my goal was to create a portfolio of dividend-paying stocks and basically to reinvest those stocks or the dividends that those stocks generate, and ultimately build a large enough portfolio that would allow me to live on the dividend income in the future. And that was the plan. But the reality is that given the current rate at which I'm saving into my ISA, it's going to take me a really, really long time to reach a meaningful amount. And that's why I really want to try something new, a completely new approach. So this new approach is going to be the biggest single change I'll be making to my portfolio as a whole. So rather than listing off all of the stocks that I'm going to be selling, I'll tell you which stocks that I plan to focus all of my attention and resources on. It's genetics. Blue genes, green genes, white genes, torn genes, all sorts of genes. On a serious note though, the healthcare industry is about to go through the biggest ever transformation in generations, and that means there will be a lot of disruption in legacy medical care. From the way diseases are diagnosed through to the way these diseases are treated. All of this is being made possible because of the first ever human genome being sequenced, and now there's an army of next generation sequencing called NGS that's coming through to change the world of therapeutics as we know it. That wave is right in its infancy, and it's only just getting started. So what I'm doing is positioning myself and all of my available capital to benefit from this wave when it starts. If I had the opportunity to invest in Amazon and Google at the very beginning, let's say in the early 2000s, knowing what we know now about what they've actually become, wouldn't you want to invest in it at that stage? And this is the point with these stocks that I'm looking at the moment. There is absolutely no point putting 10% of your capital in something that you know is going to be great. If you really, really want to see growth in your portfolio, then you've got to put a significant amount to be able to see significant gains. So rather than investing a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there, I focus all of my attention on what I believe to be the biggest area of gain, and then put as much of my resources as I can put into there so that when there is that gain, then all of my capital basically benefits from that exponential growth in return. That is what I'm focusing on now. So rather than having 20 odd stocks, some of which might do well and some of which might not, if I know the areas of growth that I'm looking for, focus a small limited amount of stocks and focus all of my resources in them and see how they end, and hopefully they will have that major return. Of course, I have to stress that this is not financial advice, and I'm not recommending that anyone goes through any of this. This is simply what I'm doing for my portfolio and how I propose to generate returns in the future. So without any further ado, these are the 5 stocks that I'm going to be sticking with, and the plan is to ultimately get rid of most, if not all, of the rest of my stocks. And that's CRISPR, Editas, Intelia, Illumina, and Invitae. I already have CRISPR, which is one of my largest holdings at the moment, and then Editas is another gene editing stock which I want to build up into a large position. Intelia is also another gene editing stock which I'm going to build into a really large position, and then the Illumina and Invitae are both stocks which are focused on that gene sequencing arena, and again I want to build those portfolios up. So those are the stocks I'm going to be investing in going forward. I'll be directing all of my future revenues into them because at this price point they're all reasonable. All of those stocks are reasonable given the size of the future market that these companies are currently targeting. I feel that there is a huge amount for growth, and now is the time to build up my holdings in these companies, and hopefully in the next few years, 2 to 3 years or so, hopefully I'll be rewarded handsomely for that investment. And if you're asking, well, have you done this before? How are you so sure that this is going to succeed? Well, the truth is, I don't know that it's going to succeed, but what I can say is that I've tried this idea before, this idea of investing into a focused small amount of stocks and see them grow. In fact, it was successful for me to the point where I actually saw almost an 80% return on the limited amount of stocks that I actually invested in. They weren't only stocks, but they were investments nonetheless. And for those who haven't seen this before, I have an Etoro account, and in that account I've invested in a number of stocks. My total investment is roughly around $6,000. When you take away the $1,586 available sum that's just sitting in my checking account, I haven't actually invested that £1,500, so total invested amount is around 6,600, and I'm out of that. My profit or return is roughly around just over $3,000. So that's roughly around 80% growth. Of course, most of it is dominated by the returns I've got from Bitcoin, about 72% up. Tesla, I'm up 642%. Ethereum, I'm up 100%. Intelia, which is one of the stocks I indicated I'll be investing in significantly, I'm up 47% on that. Xiaomi, which is a mobile phone producing company, and it also produces other products as well, such as electronic bikes. I'm up 71% on that. I'm down on Berkshire, and I'm also down on Intel, but Intel I've only literally just invested in just July, so that's a really recent investment. I'm up on Google 28%, and Editas, which is another gene editing company that I propose to invest in, and again I see a lot of value in this, and it's only just the beginning, and it's only up 10% on that one. So those are my total holdings, and as you can see, I'm able to generate a return of about 80% within a 12-month period. All of these investments that you can see, I started them no more than 12 months ago, and I've been able to generate that amount of return in that period of time, which means that if you're able to focus your investments on the ones that you feel that there is potential for growth, and you have a time period to aim for, then the likelihood of getting those returns are more feasible, and that's what I aim to do. So hopefully you'll be seeing a new look portfolio as time goes by. Of course, I wouldn't be able to sell out of all of my stocks. Going back to my Freetrade account, so far what I've done is I've put out some buy and sell orders. So I've put down a buy order for £400 on Editas, £400 on Intelia, and I'm selling out of the rest of it. I'm selling out of Livongo, Teladoc, Twilio, Xilinx, PagerDuty. I'm buying Invitae, and I'm also buying Illumina 200 each, or 500 on Invitae. You gotta go big or you go home. But all the stocks I'm selling are the ones I'm currently in the green on. As you can see, most of these stocks that I'm selling now are all in the green. So all of these, except for my gold mining stocks, I'm still going to keep my gold mining stocks, and I'm still going to keep my renewable energy stocks, and I'm keeping my Aviva, and I'm keeping Rio Tinto. But apart from those, everything else has got to go. I'm going to have a slimline portfolio. I wouldn't be investing any more into Centamin and my gold mining stocks, my renewable energy stocks. But all of my future investments are going to be going into those stocks I've mentioned. I'm going to invest in aggressively into those with a view to hopefully generating good returns so that I can build up my portfolio quicker, hopefully. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and please remember, if you want to get this video out, if you really like this content and you think that other people should deserve to see it, then please take that time to click that like button, because it really helps with the visibility of the video. The algorithms like it when you click like, and it shares and recommends it to other people. So please click that like button and you'll be really helping me. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Peace.